Since I'm a big gamer, GTF 2 kind of asked me, if you would be a game designer, what kind of video game would you actually do? What would you design? I would sincerely create a Zelda title that's a follow-up to Tears of the Kingdom, using the same engine, but I would design an artificial AI for Zelda and have Zelda as a companion throughout the game. And basically, she would assist Link, cover him, draw enemy fire, for example, and all sorts of things in the game. She would be a companion throughout the whole game for Link. And maybe even like cooking options, she would be an expert in plants and in medicinal plants in the game, of some sort. Maybe she would be better assist Link for that. You would issue commands to Zelda using the D-pad, but basically she would have the same abilities. She could glide, she could climb on a horse, she could, I'm not 100% sure how we would do it. But the game story would be an invading ruler other than Ganondorf. It would be coming from a faraway land, and he would have his own armies. Yeah, it would be the first Zelda game where some of the enemies are human. Therefore, I would design a sneak kill system in the game. Yeah, create the ability to crouch or use Zelda to draw their attention while Link goes behind them and sneak kills. And I told them basically Link would start off with the Master Sword and have the Master Sword throughout the game. It would be the only weapon that's not breakable, like in previous title. But you would start off with the Master Sword. You know what I mean? And other weapons would be breakable and have special unique abilities and stats and But the Master Sword itself would be your primary weapon. You would have it throughout the game. You would start off with the Master Sword. And for one, Link and Zelda would actually have a romantic relationship in the game. Basically she would use a bow to assist you in boss battles. Link would still have a bow. You could still use a bow, but Zelda would be primarily there to draw enemy fire or get the boss's attention, while you sneak behind the boss and strike down the boss. The game would still have goblins, Lionels, and stuff, but you would have an enemy human faction. Yeah, you would have an invading. And he would be very powerful of sort, using some sort of dark energy, right? They would be sort of human, and most bosses would be, unique, different, It would be a different enemy than Ganondorf because Ganondorf was defeated, right? So what do you do as a follow-up? Well, put the game like 5 years after Tears of the Kingdom. Link and Zelda are now in a relationship, live in a house, and stuff. Hyrule has recovered, has increased in size, buildings were built and stuff like that, The kingdom would have expanded over time, and would simply have an invading enemy faction, yeah. You would still have typical enemies in the Zelda game, but you would have enemy camps throughout the game, that are not like goblins, that would be human, yeah. Yeah. And as far as specials, abilities, that would be Zelda. And that would be the special of the game, Instead of Link having powers like recover from death, or Zelda would heal Link or like give him potions, or you know what I mean? Zelda would be the ability, basically. Yeah. That's what I would design. That is my Zelda game that I would design. If I would be working for Nintendo. And I would hope that Nintendo would at least hear out my concern, because in pretty much every Zelda game, almost every Zelda title, Zelda is stuck in a dungeon till the end of the game. You barely have any relationship with her. You barely have any. There was one Zelda game. Was it Phantom of the Hourglass? It was on the DS. I'm not sure which one. There was a few titles, right? But there was one Zelda was your companion, but she was a ghost. And not very. I wouldn't say very useful in the game. The game I would design, she would be very useful in the game. It would be the same characters, using the same voice actors. And for one, in my title, Link would have a voice actor to issue commands like follow, cover me, or he would have a voice. It would be the first Zelda game where Link has an actual voice. Yeah, and all characters would have voices scripted. Yeah, they would have their own horses. In the game, or you would still be able to find horses in the game. So I'm not sure how that would work out for Zelda. Would she ride behind Link somehow, or have her own horse? That would be debatable. How would that work? But that's what I would do as far as a video game. That would be my game idea. Basically, Hyrule would be on the brink of a war with an invading faction 5 years after Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. And they would, Link and Zelda would be basically, trying to save Hyrule from this new invader. It would be completely new designed enemies, yeah, that are kind of human. The game would not have blood, it would still be E-rated, but you would have interesting, unique abilities, like sneaking abilities, and both Link and Zelda would be able to sneak, they would have the same, but Zelda would be able to follow certain command prompts. Yeah, that would be my game idea. That's what I would do as a game developer. And working for Nintendo, that's the Zelda game I would do if I was, working for Nintendo. Maybe sell the idea to Nintendo, right? Or sell the script, who knows, or at least give them my pointers. Zelda needs to be more present in the game. The name of the game is Princess Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, right? And she's barely in any title. So there's some titles she's not even present at all in the game. Granted, they did one title recently using Link's Awakening graphic that you play as Zelda, which kudos Nintendo, good job. I didn't see actual footage or play the game, but good job. You actually had the right idea. Make one that's more Zelda oriented, that she's present in the game. But I want one that Zelda is a very unique companion throughout the game, where she is Link's girlfriend in the game and assists Link in the game. Have her own artificial intelligence and be able to obey certain commands in battle. You know what I mean? Recycling the Breath of the Wild engine. So that's my idea. I wanted to share it. If Nintendo hears whiff of this, that it's not like I necessarily want money for the idea. It's me voicing my concern as a Zelda fan. What I would like as a new Zelda game. You know what I mean? It's the Zelda title I would want to play. There would still be dungeons in the game, but there would be, enemy encampments, basically, yeah. Throughout the game, yeah. You would still have a few dungeons in the game, yeah, in the story. Then you would progress through the story fighting these encampments of sorts, as dungeons, they would be, possibly very interdimensional of sort, human kind of thing, and they would open gates to their world or their home or of some sort, There would be enemies, yeah, human-like enemies, in the game that are very strong, and that would be basically the dungeons would be the enemy encampments, and they would either maybe like a portal to their home world, their homeland or something, and have a dungeon basically full of these enemies, and again you would have sneak ability, or some sort enemy encampments in the game, and the traditional dungeon system, maybe, I don't know. There would be bosses, both traditional and new unique bosses, depending on how far you are in the game, would be even bigger map. Yeah, you would have the same map, but even bigger. Add to it, you know? Hyrule would have expanded over time, over the course of 5 years, and recovered. Yeah, yeah, from Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, and that's what I would do as a Zelda game. Yeah, Hyrule would have recovered and expanded over time, and Link and Zelda would have a romantic relationship, and she would be your companion throughout the game. Basically, you would end the boss fight, and Zelda would come rushing to Link and be like, "We did it, Link," and kiss and hug Link, as an animation, you know what I mean? That's a Zelda game I wish I could play, you know. So, if Nintendo would hear my frustration with Zelda games, not having Zelda present enough in the game, and Nintendo, Link, rescues every girl in the kingdom, but he never gets a kiss from a girl, even the princess, so why not have Link have a romantic relationship with Zelda in one title, you know what I mean? He always comes to her rescue in every game, this time she would be very present in the game as a companion, and have unique abilities or has the same abilities as Link, and would maybe even obey commands. Yeah, using the D-pad, just issue commands through the D-pad as abilities instead of having Link have certain powers or unique abilities. Have Zelda follow commands through the D-pad. The only thing that would really need a little work on is this horse system. What would be the best option? Would they travel on the same horse, or climb on the same horse, or somehow, or would they both, be able to have horses? Or debatable. Is there any need to have horses in the game? Since they would be sneaking enemy camps, and stuff. Would there even need to be horses in the game? I don't know. It's debatable. That would be up to Nintendo to work out, if they are interested in the idea. But as a Zelda fan, I am a little frustrated that Link and Zelda never actually, seem to have a romantic relationship. Yeah, look at Twilight Princess. Link has a better relationship with Midna than Zelda. In Breath of the Wild, Link has more romantic partners than Zelda. You know what I mean? And no doubt you censor these scenes, or it's left to the player's own interpretation of what Link is doing in the game. But I would want one where he is actually in a relationship with Zelda. Yeah, I think it would be cute. I think it would be an interesting story. And have her in the game as a companion. Period. Yeah. That you can issue commands and she has the same abilities as you, or unique abilities. Yeah. So if Nintendo would hear my idea, that's what my frustrations are with Zelda games. Not enough of Zelda, not enough of romance in the game with Zelda. Period. There's some titles that she's not even present in the game, such as Link's Awakening or Majora's Mask. Therefore, kind of is odd. She's not even present in those titles. So this time around, I'll do a follow-up of Tears of Kingdom, where she is an actual companion in the game. Basically, and that would be your unique abilities, is issuing commands to Zelda. Yeah, that would make sense. Use the D-pad. Top would be, cover me. Right would be, follow. Left would be, sneak or stay behind, or, stuff like that, right? There you go. That was my idea for a video game,